Praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rapakodas, double honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth, honors to the brethren that's laboring doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which would be 1/3 of us Israelites, according to the scriptures, who will be the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who will be seeking their salvation by returning back to the Most High, by hearing and believing on his word, so that he will have mercy on us in judgment. So we back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And I think this lesson is going to be titled, The People of the Lord's Curse. The Idumean, the Edomite, so-called white people. Something along that line. So again, the people of the Lord's curse. The Idumean, the Edomite, so-called white people. We're going to hit Isaiah 34, verse 1. Now again, the title of the lesson, The People of the Lord's Curse. The Idumean, the Edomite, so-called white people. Back to this comment, he tried to insult us and say that we curse. Again, many people in the earth is cursed. Even the earth itself is cursed. When you read Genesis, the 3rd chapter. The earth is defiled when you read Genesis, the 4th chapter. So everything is cursed, but what curse do you fall under? The so-called Negroes, the people on the 12 tribe chart, they fall under the curses of Deuteronomy, because these will be the Lord's people. Now, you white people who are actually Edomites according to the Bible, what curse do you fall under? And you'll come to find out that the curse that's over your people is far worse than the curse that's over the Lord's people, and far worse than any curse that the Lord has sent out. So Isaiah 34:1, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. So who would you people be hearing? You will be hearing the prophet speaking. The Lord not gonna come talk to you. Y'all not worth his time. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. The Lord's not going to tell you that. We're telling you. And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Now it's written as if it's already happened, because it's already finished. We just gotta wait for it to play out in this reality. Let's get to the point. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Keyword melted. The elements will melt with fervent heat. Let them melt away as waters. When he bendeth the bow to shoot his arrows, that's going to the nuclear missiles. Let's get to the point. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree. Now this is the point. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That goes into the nuclear missiles, how they go up into the upper atmosphere, and then what? It comes down. That's why the next part reads, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So yeah, the Lord's fury, his wrath, his indignation, his sword, being the nuclear missiles, is going to come down upon Idumea. Idumea being who? The people of the Lord's curse. So I got a screen recording. We're going to get this word Idumea. And forgive me, it's a little small, but let's get this real quick. Let's see what Idumea go back to.
Strong's H123.
And there's already a clue right here for those who may be able to see, zoom in, Lord willing, but it says Edom. So let's click it.
Edom.
Or Edom.
Strong's H123. Edom. Edom.
Edom means red. We know Genesis 25 and 25, what you're going to get in a minute. Edomite, Idumean, descendants of Esau. So the Lord's fury, his wrath, his indignation, his sword, being the nuclear missiles, are going to come down upon the Edomites, the Idumeans, the descendants of Esau, who are so-called white people today. Y'all are not white, y'all are red people. That's why y'all call yourselves rednecks. So let's move on from here. I also want to get Isaiah 34, verse 5 in the NLT. Now, if you're going to read it regularly, then jump to the NLT. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the Edomites, descendants of Esau, so-called white people, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, now what is this curse that's upon Idumea, the Edomites, the descendant of Esau, so-called white people? Let's read it in the NLT. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. So yeah, the Idumeans, Edomites, descendants of Esau, so-called white people, they've been marked for destruction. And this is literal. They've been marked. It's a physical mark that we can all see on them today. Now, we're going to get more into that mark in a little bit. But key word, remember, you don't see this too much in the scriptures where the Lord has put a mark on somebody, a mark for destruction. But we're going to see, let's see what this mark is. Let's go back to the beginning concerning Esau. All right, so we're going to hit Genesis 25 and 21 to get some backstory. And the backstory here, let's just get it. Genesis 25:21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, meaning no children. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. The Lord heard their prayers, and the children struggled together within her. So you already see it's two children in her womb. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord via a prophet. And the Lord said unto her via the prophet, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. So what we reading is the birth of Jacob and Esau. Jacob's name was changed to Israel after he wrestled an angel all night. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and we would be the children of Israel / the children of Jacob. White people would be our twin brother. They would be the children of Esau. And what did we just see here? Verse 24. There were twins in her womb. So Israel / Jacob's twin brother would be Esau, who white people come from. All right, so let's get this. Let's keep this up. As a matter of fact, let me move a couple things, position a couple things. And we're going to keep this red baby right here. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So this is the birth of Esau, the birth of the first so-called white man. And why was he red? Because he lacked melanin. He had no pigmentation. He had no color in his skin. As just like all the white people today. When they get mad, they turn red. When they cry, they turn red. You beat them, they turn red. They run and get out of breath, they turn red. In the sun, they turn red. They're the red people. And that's that mark. Now, Because remember, Isaiah 34:5, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. So the Lord marked these people red. So Genesis 25:25 again. And the first came out red all over like a heavy garment. They called his name Esau. That's why we got a red baby and a red man. These are the red people of the earth. Now, verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, which we come from. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. Okay, so you notice it describes what Esau looked like, red all over. But it doesn't describe what Jacob looked like. Why? Because Jacob looked like everybody else. And going back to Genesis 2:7, and the Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So in the beginning, when the Lord created all people, literally created them from the dirt of the earth. All dirt in the earth ranges from brown to dark brown to black. So Jacob, after Esau came out, Jacob came out, a shade of brown, a shade of dark brown, just like everybody else around him. That's why it didn't describe what he looked like, but it described what Esau looked like. Why? Because this is the people whom the Lord marked for judgment. The Lord marked these people red. Now Esau being marked red has significance. But before we get into this, let's take a twist real quick. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, because what we all know, this is common knowledge with the Bible. When the Lord wanted to curse people, he would curse them with leprosy. And leprosy would do what? It would pretty much turn you white. It would take away your color, your melanin, your pigmentation. That's what leprosy did in the scriptures, again, which was a curse from the Most High. Now, let's get how leprosy works, because there's clean leprosy and there's unclean leprosy. And what we're going to show is that white people are clean leperers. They have permanent clean leprosy from birth. And it's been passed, and that curse of leprosy has been passed down from generation to generation. So let's get this Leviticus 13:9. And then we also gonna get it in the NLT. When the plague of leprosy is in the man, then he shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and if it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. Now let's backtrack. So when it says if the rising, what's a rising? That's a swelling. Anytime you have some kind of skin condition, disease, such as chicken pox, a sore, a mosquito bite, your skin swells up. A breakout, a rash, hives, it swells up. So that's what this rising is. So at the affected area of the skin where the swelling, where the disease is, if it be white and the hair is turned white, but there's raw flesh in the affected portion of the skin, it's considered unclean. And that's what makes it unclean if there be raw flesh in it. Okay, now let's hit verse 12. If a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that hath the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean. That hath the plague, it is all turned white, he is clean. So, backtracking, if the leprosy break out abroad, meaning all over the skin, And what does it say? If the leprosy from head to toe, if it's turned white, he shall be pronounced clean with leprosy, because it is all turned white, he is clean. White people are white from head to toe. They have no color, no pigmentation, no melanin from head to toe. So what? That makes them clean leperers. They have permanent clean leprosy from birth. So they're cursed with leprosy from birth. Why? Because Edom, the Idumean so-called white people, is a nation of people whom the Lord had marked for destruction. And they are born with this mark on them. Verse 14, but when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. So having no pigmentation, no melanin, leprosy with raw flesh, that makes it unclean, meaning you have an open sore. But if there's no open sore, there's no raw flesh, that's clean leprosy. So white people are actually the cursed people, or there's many curses, but they're the most cursed people in the Bible. Now, let's read this in the NLT, just for an easier read. Anyone who develops a serious skin disease must go to the priest for examination. If the priest finds a white swelling, remember that word rising? If the rising be white in the skin, so again, if the priest find a white swelling on the skin and some hair on the spot has turned white, and what kind of hair do white people have? You know, for the most part, they're the only people who has blonde hair. The hair being white, meaning even a hair lose pigmentation. It don't mean literal white hair as snow like a sheep. No, this is blonde hair. Not black, not brown, not tan hair, but blonde hair. Okay, if a priest finds white swelling on the skin and some hair on the spot has turned white and there is an open sore in the affected area, it is a chronic skin disease. And the priest must pronounce the person ceremonially unclean. Why? Because there's an open sore along with swelling. In such cases, the person need not to be quarantined, for it is obvious that the skin is defiled by the disease. All right. And don't white people call themselves, although they're red people, don't they call themselves white? They talk themselves into a trap. Okay, saying you white, you openly admitting that you have leprosy. Now suppose the disease has spread all over the person's skin, covering the body from head to foot. When the priest examines the infected person and finds that the disease covers the entire body, he will pronounce the person ceremonially clean. Why? Because the leprosy, lack of color, lack of pigmentation covers the whole body. Since the skin has turned completely white, completely unmelanated, the person is clean. But if any open sores appear, the infected person will be pronounced ceremonially unclean. So unmelanated with no open sores, that's clean leprosy. And that's what people have. That's how the Lord marked them. Marked them with permanent leprosy from birth, but also that shade of red to indicate something. Now let's show what this shade of red indicates. And even in the real world, when you see this color red, it's usually a warning. It usually means danger, etc. All right, so now let's, again, white people have clean leprosy. They're unmelanated. From head to toe. So that leprosy covers the entire body. There's no open sores, so they're clean leperers from birth. And that's the mark that the Lord placed on them. When we come back to Isaiah 34:5, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked. So we see that they're clean leprers, they're unmelanated, no open sores, therefore clean leprers. Leprosy from birth, passed down from generation to generation. Now, what's up with this shade of red? Now, there's an extra twist to it. Let's get a couple things straight though. Numbers 14 and 18. The Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. It says by no means clearing the guilty. If you're guilty, the Lord is going to get you. He might visit the iniquity, he might visit your iniquity upon your great and great great grandchildren. That's why it says to the third and fourth generation. Why? Because there's a word in the Bible, regeneration. That's when you come back into the flesh of your nation, what the world calls reincarnation. And that's why you have this phenomenon known as deja vu. When you have a memory of something that never happened. Yeah, the memory is real. It happened just in a different lifetime. Okay, so the Lord will visit your iniquity to the third and fourth generation. So the question is, why did the Lord mark Edom? Why did Esau come out red from birth? Why was Esau carry clean leprosy from birth? What the hell did Esau do? Well, that tells you that Esau did something in his past life, and the Lord was visiting the iniquity of the past transgression at his birth by marking them at his birth. That's why he came out like this. So again, what did Esau do? Well, you got to understand who Esau was in the past lifetime. So let's say Genesis 4. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Cain killed Abel. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? He said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So he killed his brother, then lied to the Lord, then bucked up at the Lord and got smart. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So the earth is defiled, the earth is cursed. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Let's see, let me see where we stopping at. 15. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And thou shalt be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. This is the point. The Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any man finding him shall slay him. And that's the point. The Lord put a mark upon Cain. But after this, you hear nothing else about the mark. But let's go back to Isaiah 34 and 5. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. So that mark that was placed upon Cain manifested at the birth of Esau when the Lord marked him red. Because remember, Genesis 25 and 25, and the first came out red all over. So he was marked with the blood of his brother. So Esau is really Cain in a previous lifetime. Because Cain and Abel died and nothing happened to Cain. But what? When Cain came back in reincarnation, as Esau was born with permanent leprosy, clean leprosy. And raid on top of that to signify what? That he spilt his brother blood. He's the first murderer in recorded history. Because remember also Numbers 14 to 17, the Lord by no means clears the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. So yeah, and again, the Lord set a mark upon Cain. So the Lord set a mark upon Cain to mark him for judgment. And that's the same mark that's placed on Edom. Why? Because the Edomites, they're descendants of Cain. So white people are Edomites. But even when you go back farther than that, they all come from Cain. But they had the spirit of Cain. Because all of Cain's descendants died in the flood. But the spirits come back to the earth. And the spirit of Cain came in Esau. That was that mark showing itself. That's why he came out red. Why? So that what? We could identify the wicked in the last days. Now, yep, this is the people of the Lord's curse. These are the people that the Lord has marked for judgment. He made them red because he killed his brother. The Lord gave him permanent leprosy. This is the people of the Lord's curse. Okay, so now we also gonna get Edom. In the Blue Letter Bible. So another entry in the Blue Letter Bible. We're gonna zoom in, make it nice and big so we can see. You see I'm at Edom, Edomites. It starts speaking about Edom, but let's go down to the last paragraph. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures, meaning the future, as the scene of great future judgments. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God. So yeah, it says that Edom will be the only people who was not given any promise of mercy from God. And that's why here it says, when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. You see, it only says Edom is marked for destruction, not the Moabites, not the Canaanites, not the Philistines, etc. But Edom, why? Because the Lord is going to have no mercy on Edom, on the Idumeans, upon the people of his curse. Why? Because they're Edomites. Ultimately, they come from Cain, the murderer from the beginning. And when we hit Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Lord hate these people. That's why he cursed them. Permanent leprosy from birth. He marked them red at their birth. And then this red, the flow of blood that show through their skin when they get mad, when they get burnt up in the sun, when they get hot, when they exercise, when they mad, when they sad, it's a constant reminder of who they are and who they come from and what they've done in the past. What Cain has done in the past. These would be the descendants of Cain, actually. And anytime they turn red, it's a constant reminder. That's the mark that the Lord set on Cain. These people are dangerous, murderers, etc. All right, so now, we know now that, again, Edom is a people whom the Lord will have no mercy on. Now let's get a little understanding on that. Why the Lord hate these people, why he's going to have no mercy on them. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Now, Esau never physically did any harm to Jacob, but the descendants of Esau, they committed all kinds of acts of violence upon the descendants of Jacob. For example, all the lynchings and castrations, extermination of the Native Americans, the torturing and the hangings of the Negroes here in America, Christopher Columbus killing millions of Native Americans, the Spaniards killing millions of Latin Americans, so called. That's the violence that Esau showed toward his brother Jacob. Not literal Esau and Jacob, but their descendants, respectively. And it says what? Shame shall cover thee. All their past history is being brought up. Black Wall Street, Christopher Columbus, 70 AD, when they destroyed the temple. The time of the Maccabees, during the era of the Greeks. Even Esau, we even brought Cain back to remembrance. Because again, Cain and Abel is actually Jacob and Esau in a regeneration. So you could say for violence against our brother Jacob, or even violence against your brother Abel. Ezekiel 35:14. Thus says the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou did rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, who is Jacob, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Why is all Mount Seir, all Idumea, going to be desolate? Because it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for judgment, the nation who received no promise of mercy from the Most High. Obadiah 1:18, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, beginning with his word, house of Joseph a flame, the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. It says there will be none remaining of the house of Esau. Why? Because when the nuclear missiles, the sword has finished its work in the heavens, it shall fall upon Edom, the Idumean so-called white people, which is the people, the nation the Lord has marked for destruction. It will fall upon Idumea, the people of the Lord's curse. That curse being what? Leprosy. Unmelanated. On top of that, the Lord made them red to remind us that these people got the spirit of Cain. A constant reminder of Cain killing Abel. This is Job 18:17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth. He shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked. That's the house of Esau. And this is the place of him that knoweth not Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. When you read Malachi 1:4, it tells you that Edom, that they're the wicked of the earth. That's why the Lord hates them. For violence against his brother Jacob. That's why the Lord hates them. How Cain killed Abel, the murderer from the beginning. That's why the Lord hates them. How they destroyed the earth and effed up everything. That's why the Lord hates them. So there's many, the earth itself, even all the people in the earth, we're all cursed. But what curse do you fall under? Well, we could tell you that you so-called white people, y'all fall under the curse of Idumea, the Edomites. So all the blood that you spilled from now going back to Cain, y'all got to pay for it. And what's that judgment? No mercy, complete destruction. It's going to be none of y'all remaining after the Lord is done with y'all. So that's the lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.